Hello, I'm HQ of HQ Reacts. If you find yourself here and you're not subscribed, please like, share, and subscribe. If you find me on other social media platforms, please follow me, like, share, and subscribe. We are trying to get to 5,000 subscribers. So, you can catch me on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. Well, hello. This is HQ. Today we're going to talk about the Miami Cubans. The ones that seem to think they're better than the other Latinos. The ones that seems to think they're closest to whiteness. The ones that voted almost 70% for Donald Trump. Now, let's listen to some of the people who know Donald Trump better than they do. And let's see if maybe that was a good idea. No, maybe it wasn't a very good idea to vote for Trump. Let's see.
Poor Cubans that shilled out for Donald Trump. Let me tell you something. I don't give a shit if you're like second generation and you were born here. I was also born here too. I'm white, blonde-haired, blue-eyed, lived here my whole life. Midwest, lived in white conservative Midwest America my whole life. I could have told you the fucking smoke show that was being pulled on you. You thought you understood. You thought you understood white people. Don't nobody understand white people better than I understand white people. I've lived around MAGA types like that my entire fucking life. I could have told you. In fact, I think I did. I think a lot of well-to-do liberal white people tried to tell you, maybe too delicately because look at the state that you're in, but basically, I understand how MAGA and Trump and these white people operate. Let me put it to you this way, and I hope you understand this. It cost MAGA and Trump nothing to smile in your face and pat you on your back. It cost them nothing. Money, time, energy. It cost them nothing to do that. What did it cost you? What did it cost your community en masse? It cost a lot more, didn't it? That's the scale of it. White MAGA Christian nationalists, they spend no energy or money or time smiling in your face to get your vote. But you gave everything. And I want you to sit in that feeling and think about it. And that's how it's going to be forever. That will never change. They gave up none of their time, none of their energy to smile in your face and lie to you. But you gave up a whole lot more. And I know you're embarrassed about it and you're in your feelings and it sucks to be humbled. It sucks for me to see that happen. How many more times do you have to be slapped in the face and have the reality slapped to you that you are no better? You are no better than the so-called criminals that MAGA likes to group you with. When's that connection going to happen? Because I don't give a shit what you think. It doesn't matter what you think. I'm telling you what they think. And it's all cool in the gang. You are no different. They appreciated your vote. Thanks. But in the end, they lost nothing. You stood to lose a whole lot more. Have a good one.
Mr. Malcolm, with all due respect, sir, there's a big difference between race, ethnicity, because in an application, when it says What race are you? It's referring to my skin color, not my nationality. I am a Hispanic. That's my ethnicity, but I am white. Not pretending to be white American. I am white. My skin color. I'm not black. If an application says, what's your ethnicity? I'm Hispanic. There's two different things. Yes, Latinos will put white in an application. The skin color is white. I know you don't know this, but in Latin America, we have black and we also have white Hispanics. I happen to be white. When you see a Hispanic person, check the box that says white. It doesn't mean we're trying to be white Americans. This means that our skin color is white. I am a Latina, I'm white, but my heritage is Latina, Hispanic. I hope this helps.
See, we know that from other Latinos, other Hispanics, that the Cubans in Miami specifically think that they're white, think they're closer to white than any other Latino group. This is why we think you voted 70% for Donald Trump. That's not the only reason, but that would have been your first reason. We just wanted to flesh out several reasons why you all at 70% would have voted for Donald Trump. Now, we're hearing it from other Latinos. We're hearing it from you all specifically. We're hearing it from the whole community. You voted because you wanted to get close to whiteness. Wow.
Hi, thank you for your comment. I want to start by saying that I used to unequivocally consider myself a person of color no matter where I went. However, as I got older and as I moved out of the Bay Area, moved out of California, it became more apparent that I had white privilege and that race changes with space. Now, this is particularly true for Latinos who have mixed ancestry. So, even though you are a white Latina, you're still a part of a marginalized minority group, which means that you have the right to access resources and support from the community um, within that group. However, you should still be mindful of the space that you're taking up and continue to acknowledge your privilege in those spaces. So, the short answer is sometimes, but most of the time, no.
So, she enjoys her white privilege, does she? See, it takes a special person to take advantage of the fact that they can pass. We have some black people who also pass, and then they take advantage of that too. I guess it's human nature to do that, right? But I don't really have a lot of respect for a person who would sell all of their people out, specifically the Miami Cuban. Let's actually talk to a liberal Cuban from Miami, I guess, who says it was more than just the proximity to whiteness that had you all voting for Donald Trump. It also had something to do with not liking brown people.
To this day, I still get asked, why? Why did your people, why did Latinos vote for him? And frankly, I have multiple answers to that. But before I even get there, I need you to know I'm not one of those people. I am a progressive, I am a liberal at heart, and that is how I vote. But I think there is something, a greater conversation to be had as to why so many Latinos, including those of younger generations, voted in the way that they did and voted for him. At the root of it all, I truly believe it is a multitude of things. It's like an ingredient box, if you want to call it that. And that is proximity to whiteness, colorism, anti-blackness, and machismo, along with an uprising in conservative values and people thinking that that is what they want and that's what's going to allow them to go ahead and progress with this competitive mentality, scarcity mindset that sometimes folks think, well, like they start to win, then I'm not going to be able to win. So all that put together played a huge role as to why Latinos voted in the way that they did. Now, the Latino community, okay, is not a monolith because folks from Mexico are different from those from Cuba or from Venezuela or from Nicaragua. So we're not all the same. But the things that I mentioned in terms of the ingredient box, that does play a role in a large portion of the Latino community and frankly across the world when it comes to people wanting to be white or wanting to fit in with white people. And that plays a role here in America in terms of people also thinking, well, if white people are treated in a better way, then how can I go ahead and fit in that way so that I'm also treated in that way? So then you have people, Latinos, that see the mass deportation signs and somehow are able to go ahead and separate themselves from those they think are going to be the ones that are going to be deported. They're able to say things like, well, that's not me. That's not my family. My family came here legally, or I'm a citizen, or whatever that may be. When in reality, a number of those folks that are in power just see brown, they see Latino, they see the same box, unfortunately. And so that's important to go ahead and note too. Along with, if you go back to the contest, of course, in November, you had a Black and Asian woman running for office. You had a lot of Latino men that had problems with that because a lot of Latino men didn't want to see a woman win, especially a woman of color. So if you have all of that put together, and then you have propaganda, misinformation, disinformation that was targeted at our community, mind you, okay, to get Latino men, especially younger Latino men, to believe all of these things, to believe that if the immigrants are doing better, that somehow they were going to go ahead and lose. When that's not the truth. It's not. So I need us to have a greater conversation because frankly, a lot of Latinos are not ready to have this conversation or don't want to, but we need to have the conversation, okay? And if you want to have more of these conversations, follow for more. Let's keep the conversation going. And let's have it.
Let's have it. So the conversation includes close proximity to whiteness, machismo of Trump. They didn't want to see a brown Asian woman win, colorism, all of those good things. But we know that it had a lot to do with a brown woman being in the White House. This was a problem. This is the problem we know today. We understand that it was more Latin men who did not want to vote for a woman because she was a woman, but she was also Black, which also played a part. And we have to face this one little ugly fact. A lot of Latinos don't like Black people because they feel like we're complaining, we have nothing to cry for, we live in the greatest country in the world, we got all these advantages, and they have not been through the struggle of living here in the United States and being considered a second-class citizen. Okay? Specifically the ones who have close proximity to whiteness. Because if you ask the Latinos, they think they're above the Black people. And that's the problem. This is the problem we Black people have. People think that just because we're Black and we don't particularly get along with whites or Hispanics, that we are racist or we don't like them. That's not the truth. That's further from the truth. We would get along perfectly with you all. You all just don't like us. That is the crux of the matter. We voted 85%, almost 85% against Donald Trump. We did. Us Black people, we did. Because we saw and we heard him say, deportation, we're going to get rid of them. We're going to try to get rid of them, get them out of the country. We did not want that. 85% of us did not want that. Now, if 85% of us did not want that, how can we be racist against Hispanics or Latinos? Maybe a small portion, but the bulk of us, we don't have that hatred in our heart. We did not want these deportations. That's the long and short of it. But you all in Miami Cubans, voted 70%.
Got here and thinking they all right, ignoring the others and their status plights. In Dade County, calling themselves white. The other minorities, they'd all backbite. Tell you can to check the website. Some now scheduled for a short flight. Papers pulled by a house that's white. Secretary of State of Cuban is no neophyte. They low down and dirty, just downright. Black people told you, but you had no foresight. Complexion made you cozy, so you're not uptight. Invited you in to our campsite. We wish you well, in your immigration fight. Proud I never voted for this termite. Guess Kamala wasn't so bad in hindsight.
Had a lot to do with the fact that you thought you were white and you never will be, not according to them, not with the MAGA crowd. And two, you didn't want to see a black woman win. We got it. We get it. And male machismo, arrogance, whatever. And then the women voted right along with their men. So this is where it's gotten us. This is where we're at. Let's continue.
Mi gente. I haven't done one of these in a while. Between the Cuban Adjustment Act and then when they started, when they took away their refugee status, I came on here and I talked about it again and I kind of make fun of them. But anyway, here's another one for the record. Cuban Americans take front and fucking center. Cubans for Trump. Front and fucking center. Let's talk about it because I know you don't want to talk about it now, right? Now you're avoiding me at all fucking costs, right? And I think it's funny, but in the last fucking week, this administration has gone after you super hard. Super hard. Even those that have been in the country for a fucking while are getting detained and being threatened to be fucking deported. And he is coming after you. There goes the fucking articles. Because I know you're going to say I'm lying, but I'm not lying. And if it hasn't happened to you yet, it's just a matter of fucking time. Once he revoked your refugee status for you, Haitians and Venezuelans, right? Now you don't have the protections and that your ass is voted for, right? Do you remember all the videos? Your votes, voy a votar por Donald Trump. Right? Remember that? Remember how many of you came to my page to talk shit? Who's fucking laughing now? Who's fucking laughing now? Do you think this would have taught you a lesson for midterms? Do you think it's going to teach you a lesson for 2028? I fucking doubt it. I doubt it. But I hope it does. I told you so. Again, I warned you. Now, here's the funniest thing about this video. This is the guy they call El Funky, and I don't even know who the fuck he is. But as of a few days ago, he was being threatened to be deported. And now, I'm not sure how he got out of it. But look at him. Does he fucking even look like he would qualify to be in the United States under this fucking administration? I think not. He should have known better. But sure enough, I think because he thought he was famous, Trump was going to accept him. And what did he say at your own town hall meeting? I only want you for your vote. Now you see how that works, right? But if somebody knows that Funky, send it to him, right? Because I don't even know who the fuck he is. But good for your ass. Good for your ass. Maybe you'll wake up now. Maybe all of you will wake up now and stop being a part of that colorism that makes you think the color of your skin makes you better than the rest of us fucking Latinos. Who's laughing now? Cubans for Trump.
Ugh. Y'all, your own people even salty with y'all. The problem is you cannot be in this country and be considered by MAGA as a second-class citizen and then take shits on the other citizens that live here. We as a monolith, us as the black group of voting bloc. I'm going to say monolith, but we're really not. But most of the time we are. We voted 85%. Because we were trying to help you. We wanted to help you. That's not racism. We could have let you fry, but we did not. It could have been even more of a fry. But you as a group decided that you wanted people to be deported, but you thought you would be different. And this is the one lesson that you have to take away. You're no different. You're no different. You see how easy it was for them to snatch the TPS from you. And now they're down in Miami, loading you up into vans and sending you to Guantanamo Bay, sending you back to your home country. Some of you have never been there. Some of you have never set foot there since you were a child. Some of you have never even thought about going back. Ever. But because of your wanting to be close to whiteness, because you wanted to stick it to the black woman, because you didn't want to vote for a woman. This is where we're at. This is where we're at. And I am not going to say it. I'm not going to say the last word. The last word is going to be from your own people, one of your own Latino brothers.
What's been going on this election, man? Because in record numbers, there were people from Bajistan, that's Latin America, Southeast Asia, that voted for Trump.
Oh yeah,
through this kind of pull the ladder up conservative.
But it's one.
Talk like
it's
what
about the
what's that about?
proximity of whiteness. It's for our Bajistan brothers and sisters who feel like if they vote for Trump, they appear more white and less brown, and that's part of it. The proximity of whiteness is still a thing in America. Do you know what I mean? So that's kind of important. And then you have your, Latino people are not a monolithic people.
Sure.
I mean, we have right-wing people too, and we have also hyper-Christianity. So you have that, people who are against abortion, who are homophobic. I mean, you have that too. I mean, the Republicans really know how to throw that red meat and get people galvanized.
Has this been a long thing that you've seen? Is this like, I've had deep WhatsApp conversations with family members about this, and the split is clear. There's you won't be accepted by the evangelical base of the United States of America, the conservative base that has a very particular look and feel to it. You'll never be MAGA enough. And then there's a group of people that's like, get the bag and get yours and close the door.
Right.
Is that similar to the way
yes,
Latinos
a lot of that
look at
going
it?
on.
Okay.
Yeah. But also what's interesting is, I mean, the lead of the Proud Boys is an Afro-Latino.
Wait, what?
Come on, you know that.
No, I didn't know this.
Yeah. The man who leads the Proud Boys is an Afro-Latino Cuban guy. I'm blanking on his name right now, but that's crazy. And Nick Fuentes, one of the big right-wing anti-Semitic, homophobic, misogynist, is a Mexican guy, Nick Fuentes, who goes to Mar-a-Lago and hangs out with Trump. I mean, these Latinos who are also brown or white passing or white Latinos are also part of this sort of white nationalist Christian movement, Christian nationalism. It's so wild, but we're allowed to enter there as long as you're hating,
Hating others, hating criminals. When Donald Trump came down the escalator and said, they're all criminals. And he said, we're going to arrest all the criminals. What you didn't know was he meant all of you brown people. He meant all of you brown people or people who weren't white. And for that, you gave him 70% of your vote. And thus, here we are looking over the abyss into the MAGA madness. Stay tuned.